Hey folks, welcome back once again to Harley Day Rider, your girlfriend HDR with Mrs. HDR. And this is our bike trip 2018 wrap up. I know a few of you mentioned, are you going to do the kitchen video? Oh, here it is.
This is it.
This is the kitchen video. So this is how we wrapped up last year's, and we figured we'd do the same thing this year. This year we did something a little different though. Actually, we took some notes on the road, some stuff that we wanted to use on the wrap up show. So it's kind of almost like scripting, I guess, believe it or not. It's not going to sound like a script. We're just going to talk off the cuff, and we just wanted to keep things in order, basically, of what we wanted to say. If you want to ask any other questions of us, stuff that we don't cover, please put it in the comments below this video, and we will definitely take care of those. The first thing we want to talk about really quickly is mileage versus hours on the bike, or how can you say that? Hours, time you spend on the bike versus mileage, I guess. What we're looking at here is, so many people say, well, how many miles do you ride a day? How do you ride all those miles a day? The first day I think we did, 415 miles. Mm-hmm. That was from here, Pennsylvania, to Bristol, Tennessee. And most of that was highway miles.
Most of it.
Most of it. We were on the highway. And then there was another day that we went from Cherokee, North Carolina to, you've seen that video, we went to Dills Gap. Right?
Mm-hmm. And then Maryville.
Right. And that was all back roads. But it was a lot less mileage, but it was actually more hours riding on the motorcycle in the heat. So don't always think that you're going to go out there and ride 415 miles every day. Because once you get on them back roads and you start sightseeing and you start stopping to see like the Fontana Dam, you start seeing that kind of stuff, you're going to spend time there and you're going to get heated up there too. So you may only do 90 miles in a day. How many?
But it seems a lot longer.
Yeah, because the mileage wasn't that far between.
No.
What was it? Bristol and Cherokee, North Carolina. That's when we went through
the Great Smoky Mountains.
The Great Smoky Mountains. And we didn't do a whole lot of mileage that day, but we did a lot of time on the bike. So that's something to think about, is time versus mileage when you're planning your trips out. You know, if you're going from here to Wyoming or here to California, Pennsylvania to California, if you're doing all highways, you can pretty much figure it out. And
I think you need a break. I think you need a break in between the highway and the two-lane road, because the highway can be great to get you there fast, but it can also be stressful and nerve-wracking. And where the two-lane, you know, you're just kind of breezing through trees and towns and stuff, which it might take you longer to get there. But I think you need both.
Yeah, you do have to break it up, because that highway will beat you up. With the wind and the truckers, and but it's a necessity, folks. Don't think you're going to go from here to the state of California, Pennsylvania to California, wherever you live, and do it all on back roads. You better give yourself at least a couple months to get there.
You better give yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, because riding a motorcycle is not like riding in a car. A lot of you know that watch these videos. A lot of you guys ride, and you girls out there and women ride. You know that when you ride a couple hours, or even an hour, we usually ride about an hour, about
hour and a half,
100, 150 miles roughly. Pull in a gas station, get off the bike, stretch your legs out a little bit. You know, even if you don't need gas, stretch out a little bit.
Yeah, you have to.
You know, and we also always say force yourself to go to the bathroom, right? Because you're going to leave there and get on that bike and go 20 miles down the road, you're going to have to go.
You're going to have to stop.
You're going to have to stop, so. Alright, we wanted to also bring up a little bit about dealing with any type of roads, and different type of roads. This is something that really struck me this year. Where are we at on that brick road?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
We were in downtown, St. Louis.
Yeah, downtown St. Louis by the Arch.
To see the Great Arch.
For some reason they got these old brick cobblestone in there. And even when I went to put my feet down, the bike was very unstable. I was very unstable. Be very careful. But you know, when you're going out there riding, don't think I'm going to ride on beautiful blacktop all the time.
No.
It doesn't happen.
You have to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
And the bricks weren't even. They weren't even. Some were up, some were down, and you were going up and down. And
yeah, it was very uneven stuff. Even on some of the highways we rode on, it was just bumpity bump.
Yeah.
I mean, it just felt like we was on a washboard. And you know, do your best, get in the passing lane. If it's smoother, friends, ride there. Whatever's going to make that bike smoother for you and your passenger, do that. But watch out for that. Watch out for gravel, sand on the road. Watch your GPS. A lot of people say you can set your GPS up to only go on paved roads. I think that's a big plus. You don't want to get off of a road and be on a gravel road for 2 or 3, or even 5 miles. That would be really bad. All right, packing. I'll let Mrs. HCR talk to you about packing. What you truly need to take, and nothing against these folks out there. If you're pulling a trailer and you're taking, most of your household items with you on your vacation, if that's what you need, that's fine. But what do you really need to pack?
We packed basics. A couple pairs of jeans, a couple shirts, underwear, socks. That's it. We each had a pair of tennis shoes and a pair of shorts, extra, and bathing suits. But that's it. Well, plus two, when we would get off at each hotel, we would take everything with us in. So, you each got your bag, you got your bag in the back with all your shampoo and deodorant and stuff in it, and take it in with you. So, I mean, if you want a lot to carry, that's up to you, I guess, but just basics.
And somebody did comment on one of the videos, and I want to thank you for that. You said that we have it down to a science. We carry our bag.
It took us a while.
It did. It took us a while to learn. Like Mary here will go over to her saddlebag, put her bag in. I would dump my bag in my saddlebag. Then we would strap that tea bag on the back, and that's what holds our blue jeans and our shower kits, our tennis shoes, and I think our swimsuits or something was in there. So, but we do. It took a while to get it down to science. At first it was very, very clumsy. It took Mary time. I don't know how many of you guys have an older Harley, but the saddlebags on the new Harleys are, but those old ones where you got to click it in and fold it down and get it to lock, and I've driven before and that's bounced out. It's opened up on me, so you have to make sure they're locked in there. So, but she has it now, so that's perfect. But yeah, pack what you need. Don't pack.
Don't overpack. You can buy something if you want.
Yeah, you can buy it if you want. Extra t-shirt, extra underwear,
out and about,
extra socks. You can buy all that stuff if you need it.
There's Walmarts everywhere.
Yeah, and like we found last year, we told you folks, we bought so many t-shirts last year and souvenirs that we actually shipped them home in the mail, so we didn't have to pack that stuff in the back.
We would have never fit them.
We couldn't fit it in the bike. I mean, we're usually packed pretty tight. We're happy to get a couple water bottles in there, maybe a banana to carry on the bike with us, because we're usually packed pretty tight. All right, so what about washing clothes on the road? That's a way that can save you from packing.
Oh yeah, it can, but we wore our bathing suits the day we washed clothes, and every hotel we went to, remember to have quarters. Every washing machine and every dryer still takes quarters. You can't even use your bank card. You could use the bank card on the vending machine, but not on the washers and dryers. Make sure you have change, because we ran into that, and luckily the desk gave us change, but there were no change machines either. So just remember that.
And it's funny too, because give yourself time. I think we spent that day.
We spent the whole morning.
Yeah, because you folks seen when we went that day, we were in Tennessee,
We were in Nashville. The second day we were in Nashville.
And we were going to see something. And a lot of you folks realized that we didn't start recording a video that day until like 4 o'clock.
Right, when we went to the Grand Ole Opry, because we did laundry that morning, but there was only 2 washers and 2 dryers, and other people were using them too. So
right, so you have to figure that in too. Give yourself some time there. We just talked about this coming home. Sunscreen, which a lot of you know, is not. A lot of guys I hear, that's not manly. I can't put sun protection on. Well, then enjoy being a lobster. My nose one day, I was riding down the road. I told her I could feel it crisping up. I could feel my nose burning because I forgot to put the sunblock on my nose that morning. But yeah, it's not like a tough guy thing. You can't wear. Everybody should wear sunblock.
Always.
And Mary found some place that you really need to wear sunblock.
And your chapstick, because mine didn't have it, and my lips got sunburned and got blisters. So make sure you have it.
Yeah, because I guess the normal chap balm that she used, it almost acted like an oil, which almost caused like a frying effect on your lips. So be careful on that one. Food and cost of eating.
You can go all out and spend. The one day we had 2 meals, almost $90 for that day eating. The next day we didn't spend $30. So, and that was 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you know, you have to manage what you want to do. Plus, if you're in hotels that have breakfast, that meal is already done. So, depending on how much you want to spend, look around and you can go cheap or you can go, you know, expensive.
Yeah,
You just have to look. What are you ready to spend?
and the one big thing too that we might have told you last year on the wrap up was we generally look for hotels with a free breakfast. We've eaten so many waffles in the past 12 days. If you ever went to a hotel, they got those cute little waffle makers that beep. I told her actually I wanted to buy one for home because I'm so used to hearing that beeping now every morning. But
They have other things too.
yeah, some do. We went to one hotel and they had ready to make omelets.
Omelets. The lady made the omelets for you.
Yeah, we felt like we was on a cruise ship again. It was wonderful. I mean, it was really a great breakfast. So that kind of brings us to hotels and dealing with costs and comfort.
We, you know, just try. We looked at several hotels. You just have to find out, you know, what's in your price range and what's available, like the breakfast. Not so much. We did go in a couple pools, but not so much pools or anything like that. And how with the distance to what we wanted to see. Nashville, we were close. We were like 2 blocks away from downtown. Memphis, with the guidance of someone that he met on a
John, yeah.
he kind of told us where to go to get a hotel, so we were a little further out from Memphis. But so it's up to you. You got to look around and know what you want. Non-smoking, that's a big thing for us. Non-smoking, and if there's breakfast.
And that's a big thing too. As we do these trips, and we're already starting to plan next year because Mary found out for me how to deal with, what did you call it? How to deal with the blues or of vacation of being over.
Stress.
How to deal
Post-vacation stress.
Yeah, the post-vacation stress syndrome. And she said the best way they said to do is to start preparing for next year's vacation. So now we're preparing for next year. And if you follow our Facebook group, Harley Day Rider, that page, what John did was John on his own took it upon himself to start messaging me on Facebook Messenger, and we started chatting, and he would tell us, go to this part of Memphis is good, this part is not so good. I'm not down in Memphis. I think Memphis, we had a wonderful time there. Nobody bothered us. I was told before I went there, be careful in Memphis, you might get killed. I think that's a myth. And somebody told us that was like 10 years ago.
That was for Nashville. That was for Nashville.
Nashville. Some guy said like 10 years ago Nashville was really bad. We didn't have any problems in Nashville either, or Memphis. So I'm not saying it's bad, but if you folks are following us when we go on one of these trips and you say, hey, you're going to Maine, go to, Sally Sue's Crab Shack, they got the best lobster. Let us know this stuff because we don't know anything when we leave. We just get on that bike, and I told her this year, my new saying was, I get on the bike, we point it into the wind, and we go. And we just see where we get to each day. So that's a big thing. But that was, so John did help us out again. John, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Dealing with rain. That was a new part of our adventure this year. Last year we dealt with rain for about, 4 minutes?
That wasn't very long.
No. This year we dealt with rain for about how long?
20 minutes each time, maybe. Maybe
20 minutes. I told you folks we pulled under an overpass. I got it right. Put our rain suits on. And Mrs. HCR here never once did I hear any whining or crying. She's like, let's go. She got right back on the bike and away we went into the rain.
I just wanted to get through it.
Yeah, you want to get through it. You can see sunlight on the other side, so you want to drive to the clear part, right? Get out of the rain. And it also helped, I think, we had 3 other bikers with us. We just kind of met them at a rest stop, and they were pulled off, so we kind of all grouped together, and we were just kind of riding together in the rain. So that was kind of cool. Now it's just going to, oh no, we got one more thing here. Snacks and drinks. Important thing. Here's what I like about snacks and drinks.
Water's good.
Or she would tell me over the Senna headset, hey, would you like a gummy worm or a gummy bear? Or she had them in her little person. She'd just reach over and I'd be eating gummy worms going down the road. So, hey, water, we don't have any cup holders on the bike. She did give me money about 2 years ago to buy one. I never bought one. Don't ask me why. I just haven't found what I liked, I guess, on the bike. So when we do start, we have water and stuff in the tour pack. So we do carry drinks on the bike. The states, I wanted Mary to go over with you with the states, just to tell you what states we hit this year, and how we got to the one state was this one, how we got to that state and how that transpired.
Well, of course, we started off in Pennsylvania. We went down through West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi. We ended up in Mississippi because we went to Graceland, and if you go south on I-55, you can be in Mississippi in like 3 miles. So I'm trying to add up how many states I can get my feet into. So after Graceland, we went down and got some gas in Mississippi and then came back. And then when we left Tennessee, we went through Arkansas, and we went up to Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and came back to Pennsylvania.
There you go. And the whole Mississippi thing, she said, look, she said, Mr. HDR, it's like this. Either you're getting on the back and I'm driving, or you are driving me to Mississippi. So
We went to Mississippi.
I pointed the bike into the wind, and away we went to Mississippi. We're going to go over here. These are the hotels, the food, and the sightseeing are kind of estimated. They're pretty close. The gas is dead on. So a lot of you ask, how much does it cost to do a trip like this? We was on the road a total of 12 days. 12? 11. No, 12 days. There's 12 days. That's right. I should have realized this. I got 12 videos up here. So this is the final 13.
11 nights in hotels.
Yeah, 11 nights in the hotels. But we got the closest thing. The hotels cost us about $1,000. And that can vary depending on where you want to stay. Some of the hotels we were kind of stuck because we wanted to stay like in Nashville. We wanted to stay in Memphis or really close to everything. So it cost us a little bit more. Last year we talked about we went out west. We had some hotels out west for like $60 a night.
$60.
Yeah, $60 a night.
Near anything,
No.
which is okay too.
You were out with the prairie dogs last year and there was nothing around. You may have been one of 5 guests in like a 40-room hotel out there. So a little different when you have to stay in the cities, so that costs us a little bit more. Food, like Mary was saying, some nights we really ate well. Like when we went to the BB King restaurant in Memphis, we didn't ask them, or we didn't look down the menu and say, I want the $2 side salad. They didn't have it anyway, but
no.
like if she had the chicken and waffles, and if it was $18, that's what we were having. So there were some nights that we kind of went extravagant. No 5-star restaurants, but and I ate a lot of barbecue.
No, we were thinking too with the hotels that have the breakfast. Some of the stuff you can, don't look like you're carrying a grocery bag in there, but you can take some stuff back with you, even if you wanted to have later for lunch or a snack, because they have yogurt, fruit, little boxes of cereal, little milks. If you wanted to have something later in your room, you could do that too.
Yeah, you could do that. And even last year, I know Ray used to take a lot of the times. He would take a few bananas,
right,
and throw those in his tour pack. So yeah, food we spent like around $500, but that one day I tell you, we spent next to nothing on food. I mean, you can eat
practically.
You can eat practical too. You don't need to eat a ton of food. For lunch, guys and girls out there, when you're riding these motorcycles, the last thing you want to do is carb it up at lunch, because you're not going to get very far before you're going to get really tired. So try to eat a lot of protein stuff in the afternoons. Total gas on this trip, and the last thing we're going to end this with pretty much is going to be the mileage. But the total gas on this trip was $140. To me, that saving alone, you could spend a little bit more on hotels. You can spend a little bit more money on food. And then sightseeing, we spent around $500 roughly. That may be a little high.
I think that's high.
It may be a little high, but like when we went to Graceland, it cost us like $135 for both of us to get through there.
No, it's $121. Well, I'm sorry, the parking, because you're going to pay to park.
You're going to pay $10 to park anywhere you go.
That was one of the things we ran in with the sightseeing.
Yeah, and we talked about that.
Pay to park.
Yep, and we talked about that in the videos too. Why don't they charge per tire, like $2.50 a tire? That way, if you have a trike, you're going to pay $2.50 more than a motorcycle. If you have a car, you're going to pay a little bit more than the trike. That would make sense, but they don't. It's $10 for everybody. So yeah, the sightseeing, okay, let's even say $300 to $500, because there was a few places we went that you have to pay to get in. If you go to a museum, you have to pay to get in. I mean, depending on what you want to do. So folks, the total mileage of this trip dead on from the time we pulled back out in front of our house, where you've seen that picture on our Facebook group, Harley Day Rider Facebook group. 2,355 miles, .2. So 2,355.2. So, and we only spent $140 in gas. So I think that was pretty good. I mean, you know, mileage-wise. Somebody asked me in one of the videos, what kind of mileage do you get on your motorcycle? And I said 37 to 40, I guess. I don't really know. We've never really calculated. I'm just guessing. We get, I think we get almost 235 miles roughly to a tank, and the tank holds like 6.5 gallons, I think it is, or 6 gallons. Don't quote me on that. So there you have it. So a successful trip.
Successful. We had fun.
We had a good time. Somebody on one of the videos said it looked like it was a very bonding experience.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And there were sometimes, I have to say, with our communicators, tell you, everybody, we run the Sennas. And I would ask her, I said, "Do you want the stereo on?" She goes, "No." And we would just chit chat. We would chit chat for 200-300 miles on the bike. It was just crazy that you could be out on the road talking like that. So,
Or you could just.
or she would just shut me off. She would just turn me off. So, all right. So, like again, if there's any questions, throw them in the comments. We would be glad to answer anything. Do you have anything out there one more time to say to the wives that won't ride with their husbands? They're like,
oh, just try it.
Just try it.
Just
Now,
try it.
Now, what
Just
would
go
you?
on a little trip and see how it goes, and then because the furthest I had gone, we live 2 hours and 20 minutes from Erie. That was the furthest trip I went on when we went out west last year. So I was nervous. You just got to try it.
And I'll tell you a little bit how that flip-flopped too. After the trip last year we went to out west, we went to Wyoming. We came back. There was a day that she wanted to get a peanut butter chocolate donut from Krispy Kreme.
Oh, it was a Reese's. Reese's donut.
Reese's donut. And she looked on her phone and she was looking. The only place they had it was Erie, Pennsylvania. She said, "Why don't we get on the motorcycle and take a little ride? I want to go get a donut." Folks, it was a 200-mile donut ride. Well, plus, is it 200 miles up here?
No, it's like 140 maybe.
Okay, so 280-mile round trip for a donut, but that shows you what kind of rider she is today than where she came from 3 years ago. So, all right, so this is it. This is how we're going to end this year's wrap up. This is a shot of American honey whiskey. Great stuff. To you, thanks for the trip.
Thanks.
And that's it. Always need a little chaser. Okay, thanks, and we will talk to you next time. Remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there. Want to say the last part? And be kind to one another. She thinks I stole it from Ellen.
He stole that from Ellen.
Ellen took that from me years ago. She took that years ago. So tell her I said that. Harley Day Rider said it. All right, take care, folks. Bye-bye for now.